Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Let's jump into it. There's not much that I did or am doing, so, this probably is going to be a shorter video, which I'm sure some people are going to be happy about. So GLD, I'm still in GLD, and on Friday, I had said that I would not be surprised at all if gold had moved back down closer to the moving averages, and sure enough, that's what had happened. So this is still fine. What am I risking here? We'll wait for a day or so, any sort of close below the moving averages, and I'll get out of these call options. Conversely, anything above sort of this trend line or kind of moving back up, and I will add to the position in these. So GLD, March 21st is the expiration, $249 strike price. Yeah, 249. And those are 705 currently. That's what I paid for those, 705. Currently those are 535. Whatever. All right, moving on. Taiwan Semiconductor, still in Taiwan Semiconductor. I said that the game plan here is a close below the 50-day moving average. I would get out of Taiwan Semiconductor. This still looks okay. Although given the fact that markets were surprisingly strong, which we will go over. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this was weak. After hours, this is looking pretty good though. 203. Where was I going with this? Markets after hours are looking pretty strong right now, but or they're up. They're up. I guess strong is a relative term, so we'll just go with the fact that they're up after hours. So the average cost basis in these, was it like 207? I don't know. What is it, 207? 207 and 11 cents, it appears. That was like from a few days ago. Whatever. All right. So that's it for the positions. Now let's go over everything. This week is a pretty important week. I think bank stocks have earnings this week. I think so. So that'll be really interesting. Let's go over indexes. Yeah, see, Taiwan Semiconductor still looks fine. First of all, let's go over some semis. Below the 50-day moving average, is a no-go. Like I said, there are times where I will certainly go after things below the 50-day moving average, but I'm talking more along the lines of indexes and on the 200-day moving average, which Russell is on the 200-day moving average right now. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to take what you can take or try for something, right? If you're not doing it for a living, then I guess you don't have to, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Anyways, let's look at AMD. That's still a no-go. NVIDIA, Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's look at Broadcom. Yeah, see, hanging on here. See, things are still kind of hanging on. All right, so let's go over indexes now. So NASDAQ, this is where you'd want to see it holding, is here around 500. So that's good. And this is below the 50-day moving average, so just patience here. Things can get pretty crazy. Like today, the price intraday was pretty wild. But this will present a more obvious place to go long. So I'm just chilling right now with this. You see, after hours is nice, pretty good, and so yeah, so see, I mean, this would be like after hours somewhere around here. Yeah, so like right here. So pretty strong after hours. And okay, so then let's go over Dow. Dow was really strong today, actually, and so that's a good thing to see. Well, let's say it this way: Dow closed up on the day, and that's good to see. However, this is still not any sort of bullish sort of pattern. So, like I always say, yes, this can absolutely work, and I hope that it does and goes higher. It's just the probability of it working and going higher or developing a new uptrend, I should say, is less. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. So yeah, yeah, just patience. This is just still kind of a no-go zone. And so let's look at financials here. I'm really happy with this close. Maybe this was the gap fill. That's all I'll say about that. Let's look at some individual banks here. So JP Morgan, this looks really good. Sort of. Like there is strength here in JP Morgan. So that's a good thing to see. So Goldman Sachs, no. Berkshire Hathaway, no. Although, 200-day moving average here, right? So, going off of a 200-day moving average in a bull market is a fantastic strategy. It's almost where you should kind of try, because it's such an obvious risk to reward. Anything below a 200-day moving average is a no-go. But we can see here went up, here went up. So, it's a good idea to look at the characteristic of something where last time it got to this level, what happened, right? So last time Berkshire Hathaway got to the 200-day moving average, it went up. And here. And, here. Although this a little bit different characteristic than where we are currently. JP Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo. So, holding this $70 price right there is good. Bank of America, it's okay. JP Morgan. But again, like these things are I'm not going to go after Bank of America here, right? And same with Goldman Sachs. Now, JP Morgan does look pretty good. You want to see some sort of uptrend forming, although this is getting close to trying to establish a new uptrend. So that would be really cool, I like going after financials, Dow Jones, and it's just, less volatility. So, the options market is pricing in less volatility. So when you do get that move, you can really get some good outsized gains for, sort of less risk. In a sense, you can look at it that way. Also, I'm just not a huge fan of volatility. You hear all these sayings about, you need, don't be scared of volatility, or you need volatility to make money, or Michael Saylor says volatility is vitality, like whatever the hell that means, freaking. But where's I going with this? Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of volatility. That's just me. Maybe if you guys have done really good with AMC, Tesla. Oh, Tesla looks good. GameStop, these sorts of things. Maybe penny stocks or illiquid names. Then maybe you do like volatility and whatever. I've definitely been there. Trading illiquid stocks and or penny stocks. It's just not my thing. I'm not into it, and you don't need it. So there's that. I've had more success in other areas than there. That's not to say that they don't work and they can't work. I just personally, for me, that's not my style. So yeah. So JP Morgan looks pretty good. That's really cool. JP Morgan. Oh, and the other thing is less volatility kind of suits my eye, and it's easier for me to find a good risk to reward, and where to get out, and when the stock is acting normal versus not normal. Because if something's really volatile, it's kind of like harder to judge that for me. So we looked at banks. Let's look at MasterCard and Visa. Let's see this on a weekly chart. Because, again, so this is still above the 200-day moving average. And Paul Tudor Jones says people overcomplicate technical analysis, which I do agree with, but he says the thing that matters is the 200-day moving average. And that's it. And is it going from the bottom left to the top right? That's all you need to know, the trend. And so I like to kind of keep things simple and above the 200-day moving average, and it's still, not panic time, right? So let's look at this on the weekly chart. No. No. But, to play this, how I would do this, you have a clear risk to reward of below 500. I would get out, and then your first initial kind of price target would be, maybe like 520, but it would depend on how these moving averages go. But, so you risk like $5, $6, $7 for potentially 15, so that's a really good like 3-to-1 risk to reward. So, when markets are tough and things are kind of, I will kind of look for certain things like this. So then anyways, let's go over Visa. I mean, in all seriousness, this is a huge gap, and lots of consolidation here. So this is still showing what I would consider to be kind of strength, we'll see if this works out, and it's a bummer this is below the 50-day moving average. These things are, and everything has really kind of been failing. But just to try and kind of be optimistic here, that's how I would be optimistic, or things to be optimistic about. So, okay, that's banks and stuff. Yeah, and like I said, so Dow Jones had a pretty strong day today, really. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And again, this is not an obvious place to go long here. How does this look on the weekly chart? Yeah, so there'll be plenty of time. If this does turn up, there's plenty of time to go long. See, the thing is you want probabilities in your favor. So it's not about the price where you're getting in. It's about the probability of the trade working out. You know, like trading is not about being a hero. It's not about feeling good. You know, it's not none of that. Those are all the wrong reasons to, be trading or to be successful at it, you know. So there'll be plenty more opportunities. Let's look at Russell here. So let's go over this. At the 200-day moving average, we're in a bull market, and yes, things are definitely sketchy. So there's that. But this is, off the 200-day moving average in a bull market, you have 1, 2, 3 previous examples where this worked, 4 over the 200-day moving average. So I really wanted to go long Russell today. Just, an IWN, by some calls an IWN. Maybe debit spreads. I don't know. I think maybe I'll do debit spreads. But what I had kind of discovered with maybe what some of my faults have been, or where I've been going wrong this last month, is not waiting for another day for confirmation that that my opinion or the move is going to work out, and I don't mean like 100% guarantee it's going to work out, right? Just a higher probability that it will work out. Because, I don't know where it was. It was like here where, 12.9, where I went long here. And if I had just waited for another day, for another positive day, that would have been more confirmation that idea was going to work out, like here, and also because I was kind of going back through some books and trying to figure out how to have avoided some of the mistakes I've made over the last month. And in that book, Tao of Trading, he waits for a day. So when everything meets his criteria, he'll wait for another day. He'll give it one more day for it to like close above the previous day. And that's something that I was not doing. And so I'm going to wait. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay. Let's go over Mag 7. Well, you know what? Let's look at some sectors here. So real estate. There is this gap down here to fill, and right here. And so there's a big gap down here too. That's a little scary. So not all hope is lost. But again, this is now 100% no-go for me. 100%. Below the 200-day moving average is a 100% a no-go. But you like to see to have a good... Let's look at bonds. Yeah, I mean... you want to see this thing turn up. Let's look at dollar. DXY. Awesome. Yeah, see... Like I was saying yesterday, this is the area where it would have a high probability of pulling back, and you want to see this really start pulling back. That would be so helpful. We need to go over Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin had a surprisingly strong day. I shouldn't say surprisingly, but, fairly strong day today. Wow, look at this. Yeah, see, MicroStrategy even finished up for the day. But first, let's go through some other sectors. So, communications. Let's look at this on a weekly chart. Yeah, so for me, currently, right now, this would be a no-go. Um, but, you know, so you zoom out, you go on weekly chart, you're like, oh, yeah, it's, you know, still totally fine. You know, looks completely fine. Monthly chart. You know, so like this, you're like, whoa, this does not look good. What do they call that? A hammer candlestick on a monthly? That's like, yikes. So then materials. Wow. Holy moly, what happened today here in materials? That's cool. Heavy volume too. Sweet. Let's see, industrials. Is that what helped Caterpillar today? Probably. Yeah, see, Caterpillar strong. Yeah, see, so, okay, so this is off the 200-day moving average. And again, like I'm saying, you know, in a bull market, off the 200-day moving average is like the last sort of line in the sand. So the probability of price going higher off the 200-day moving average is pretty high. You know, it happens all the time. So now let's look at Caterpillar, because it had a really strong day today, which was really, really good to see. Man, you know, we'll see what happens this week. Maybe the party is not quite over. But I will say this, with how badly real estate has been breaking down, unless there's some sort of crazy recovery, then the probability of this bull market lasting much longer, I would say it has now really decreased for me personally, in my personal opinion, which I hold very loosely, but that is my personal opinion, where, you know, just because maybe this bull market is over, doesn't mean there's not going to be lots more opportunities to go long, you know, over the next month or two, right? So let's look at, so here's, you know, Dow Jones. We've been in this nice uptrend for a little bit. I thought that, I mean, this is a long time of consolidation here. This is a long time. I was in calls here. Man, this was like a month or something before they worked out, you know. But anyways, this is a long time of consolidation. I was really thinking to myself, this is going to be rocketing higher for a long time. Plus, with the strength right here, this was insane, you know. And then this recovery. Anyways, so let's look at this kind of, so it's been in an uptrend, and it's below the 50-day moving average here, and man, this has been a long time, but maybe it's sort of kind of finding some sort of support, you know, I don't know. So then let's look at another time during a bull market where Dow Jones acted this way. So we can come back to over in this area. So right here, you know, we can see, well, let's maybe zoom out a little bit. And then zoom in a little bit. Where is it? Oh, geez. Okay. It's right here. So we can see, you know, Dow Jones has been in an uptrend. This is back in 2021. You know, Dow Jones has been in some sort of kind of uptrend, and then the first time really living below the 50-day moving average. You know, finds support, eventually gets back over the 50-day moving average, and then continues higher for a long time. Now, you know, this is a sweet move and something that can totally happen now. And so this rocketed higher for a long time. We think, yeah, baby, party's back on. And sure enough, it was back on. However, the bull market did not last much longer. You know, another few months, and then it's, you know, sort of over here, right? So, 10-6, well, we'll just, yeah, so 10-18 to parties over, 120. Um, 10, so 10, 11, 12, so 2, 3-ish months or so. And again, see here, kind of below or at the 200-day moving average. I saw a nice strong kind of close above the 200-day moving average, right? And then comes back and kind of retests this and is going to go higher, right? So there's still some trades. And then again here at the 200-day moving average, there's still things to be had, just even though I believe now the probability of the bull market continuing higher for another extended period of time is probably less. But yeah, so let's see NASDAQ. Let's see if there's any other examples. And by the way, just for the record, I am going to be surprised if this bull market is over in a couple months. Really, I am getting a little bit worried about the insurance companies and the fires in California and banks and that sort of stuff, what that'll do to lending. But anyway, so below the 50-day moving average here. Wow, this has only been one day. We have plenty other instances where it kept rocketing higher. So, again, this is certainly not dead. Let's look at Russell at the 200-day moving average. I guess we already kind of did. And notice all the times off the 200-day moving average this year, that would have been good. Or I guess last year to go after. So, certainly not dead. Although, a move like this is super worrisome. That's not just a normal pullback. But again, there's still opportunities to go long and some things. Now, let's look at S&P 500, which I never... Yeah, I don't know why. I just don't ever really look at S&P 500. Okay, so, yeah. So here's a gap that was 100% and it's now filled. Sort of living below the 50-day moving average, kind of. I wouldn't say it's living below it. It's been below it. Let's see this on a weekly chart. Ooh, that's not good. Close there. Man, yeah, see, I think this week will be pretty important. All right, let's go over Mag 7. So Apple had a pretty good day, really. I mean, yeah, it was down, but look at this supporting action. That's really good to see. I think on a weekly chart, I looked at this today, it looks good. If this can start moving up, then, if markets can start moving up, I saw the S&P 500 has been down 4 out of the last 5 weeks. That's quite remarkable. It's a long time, especially for a bull market, which has me worried as well as optimistic, because you have an entire month of things pulling back pretty heavily, and we're in a bull market. So if it can turn around, then that could provide fuel for much higher. So while Apple's below the 50-day moving average here, the price action today is positive. Nvidia, I think Nvidia looks like pretty bad. Yeah. Although not like bearish, you know what I mean? Just a no-go. Let's look at semis. Oh, see, just barely trying to hang on. You want to see it all at this 200-day moving average, because either way that this goes, I believe would really support price action in that direction pretty heavily. Long consolidation, right? So, the bigger the base, the higher in space, as the saying goes, as well as the opposite. All right, so we looked at Apple. Let's look at Google. And see, Google, again, really strong today. So Apple, strong. Google, very strong. So that's a positive. Tesla, very strong. We'll go over that in a second. Meta, Meta's hanging on. The 600 range here, it's fine. This is over the 50-day moving average. It's an uptrend. We're still, despite how horrible things have been, we're still in a bull market. Um, so, so, yeah, if this can work, that would be sweet. Man, it's Microsoft. Oh, and Amazon. Now, Microsoft is the laggard out of the bunch here. Yeah, is the laggard out of the bunch here. This has been below the 200-day moving average. And just kind of heavy rolling over. Amazon, see, so 50-day moving average here in a bull market. Right? These are the positives, you know. Yeah, Amazon is something I've never really done well with, which is quite hilarious. But it's just really jagged and never really meets my eye, and I don't know. I think I did really good with it somewhere in here. Oh, I think it was prior to the $200 price. Oh, yeah, it was all back in here. Oh, yeah, so I did catch this move pretty good back in here, but this $200 price level, I thought anything over 200 and this was really going to spring higher, so I was long some calls in here, and those did not work out, and so okay, Amazon, and now let's look at Palantir, and so below the 50-day moving average is kind of, you know, this has been a surprising one as of late. I mean, yeah. So okay, so this uptrend has been broken. We'll see. Is this starting a new downtrend, or can this recover and start a new uptrend? We'll see. But you know, as of now, for me, my style, that's a no. So Tesla really strong today, and that's really, really good to see for the strength of the market as well as sort of risk appetite. Wow, look at this after hours. 411. What's going on with Tesla? Investors wait for Trump 2.0. Yeah, I have no clue what's going on after hours, but wow, that's sweet. Yeah, that's fantastic. And this is one I will probably go after when it becomes more obvious, because Tesla looks really strong to me in after hours. Man, I wish it wasn't up so much for 11. But then maybe what I could do is kind of play it around the $400 level. I was risking to get out. So Tesla, and so that's kind of it. Like I said, I would be surprised if this bull market is over. We're still in a bull market. It's just sketchy. Oh shoot! Holy moly! We have to look at Bitcoin. So this is good. Well, we'll say it's not bad, right? Like, this is not bad. That's what we'll say. We'll leave it at that. This is actually pretty strong. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe a new uptrend can form. This one was really short-lived, in my opinion. It's 11, 12, 13, a month. Wow, that's it. A month from this massive consolidation. I thought that would have been lasted a lot longer. But let's look at this on the weekly chart. Whoa. So, wow. If you look at this on a weekly chart, you'll notice this is many weeks of, consolidation. So if this can turn higher and get over 100,000 again, look out. Now let's go over, so let's look at MicroStrategy. Yeah, no go. Although it's good to see it's closing up. MicroStrategy is like a marathon. Definitely no go. Yeah, it's really quite, I think I say this every single day, but it's really quite remarkable how poor Bitcoin miners are acting. And I haven't really seen anybody talking about this. And I don't know if I have an opinion on it, but it's not one that is good. You know, if you had to press me for an opinion on how come all these Bitcoin miners are not acting well. So yeah, that's kind of like strange, right? It's just really strange. Like this really strange. I mean, Bitcoin is rocking. Not over this last week or whatever, but this last year or two has been insane bull market. Where the heck is the bull market here? Yes, this was really sweet and massive moves. Okay, yeah, this was, this is massive all in here, but just, that Bitcoin hasn't gone down since here, right? So let's look at HUT. Everyone's favorite, HUT. Yeah, so, the 200-day moving average is starting to turn up. So there is hope there. And let's look at some video games. So EA, no go. Take-Two, no go. Yeah, see, again, this is also a little bit surprising, right? So when things start acting abnormal or not as you would expect them to act, that's when my red flags start kind of perking up. Because it's really quite strange for such strong price action to have this sort of happen. Let's look at Roblox. And this is nice. This is really good. Maybe Roblox will be something to go after. Man, I've been saying this for like a bajillion years. I swear, I have been watching Roblox since forever. And yeah. You know what? Maybe it's one of those things where I'm just going to go after it, and anything below the $60 price target, and I will get out. Yeah, we'll see how things go tomorrow. I think things can be pretty volatile this week. But again, Roblox is showing serious strength. Really, really good strength, where over the last month, markets are like down pretty violently. For the most part, right? Some sectors, right? Like real estate and these sorts of things, bonds, Dow Jones, Russell. So where, a stock is not down, but maybe even slightly up, that's really good to see. So Roblox for sure. So JP Morgan, Roblox, Tesla, right? So these are looking really good. Taiwan Semiconductor is looking okay. It's just barely hanging on. And here's the thing. If the semiconductors in general start going, then Taiwan Semiconductor will as well, So let's look at oil. And I think I saw corn had a really good day today, I think. So, wow, this is not good for inflation expectations. Whoa, heavy volume. That is not good. Also, I saw something where the EU is going to be putting a ban on, or restrictions or ban on Russian natural gas, and it's like, uh, it's like the price of things are going to go up because of that, but, you know, and they can sell it however they want to sell it, but what in reality is happening? In reality, since this war has started with Russia and Ukraine, America is now the major supplier of natural gas to Europe. I don't know the last time that this has happened or whatever, but they are the number one major supplier. And so now with these restrictions, the EU's passing on, Russia, that'll benefit America for supplying natural gas to Europe at the expense of ordinary people. So that's the reality of the situation. Again, you could talk and sell and whatever, but that is what is happening. That's the fact. You can argue one way or the other if it's good, bad, whatever. That's subjective to an extent, but that's just the fact of the matter is America is benefiting in terms of selling natural gas to Europe at the expense of people because it is much more expensive. Oh, corn. Yeah, see? Look at this. This is like really heavy volume. Yeah, something's going on with corn. And that is fantastic. Like I've been saying, any sort of major pullback, and I'll be going after corn. Let's see the last time over the 200-day moving average what sort of happened here. How many opportunities were there to really get into this? Man, see. So this was really strong, and I don't know if I would have gone after any of this right here. Yeah, I don't think I would have. So yeah, I would have missed that move. I would not have gone after that move. So maybe I will not get a pullback. Wheat, whatever. Silver, gold. Let's look at silver. Wow. This is a pretty wild day. Jeez, what in the heck? Wow, that's a little unexpected, huh? I think it's copper. HG is copper. And yeah, that's a no-go. So anyways, I think that's it. I would say sort of stay optimistic because we are in a bull market. Tesla looks good. Apple looks good. Google, JP Morgan, Roblox. Yeah, let's look at Google again because this looks pretty good. Yeah. Google, let's look at this on a weekly chart. Yeah, see, this is totally fine. It looks great. Tesla. Let's see what's going on here after hours. Yeah, and again, stay sort of patient, wait for confirmation. um, I find that the best trades are ones that are obvious and come kind of naturally, you know? Um, no emotion, just like, oh yeah, dang, this looks good. This meets my criteria. Here it is, sort of thing, you know? So we'll see what happens this week. If this, kind of is rolling over on the 50-day moving average, then I'll be more pessimistic. But until then, I will catch you guys tomorrow. And oh, what's this? Calls Elon Musk an extraordinary talent. Huh. Maybe this is why things are rocking. Why is this just come out? An interview. Oh. Oh, shoot. Is he on 60 Minutes right now? Jamie Dimon? Wow. He's clearly experiencing about CBS 60 Minutes. Wow. Okay. I mean, to look at Tesla and SpaceX and his attitude, he should make the government more efficient. Yeah, I agree with this totally. Is this the way to do it? I don't know. But do I want him to succeed? Absolutely. And that's why I don't understand. There's lots of haters on Tesla and SpaceX, and it's just like, it's weird. Cautious pessimism about the economy. Okay. No. Okay, people were angry, what they call the state, the swamp, ineffective government. Yeah, that's true. You also can't fix a system from within the system, so everybody cool your jets here. I didn't want to be lectured on social policies. Isn't that the truth? Okay, well, yeah, another good quote about politics that I heard is, you're a slave if you're waiting for somebody else to save you. So, that's a good one. Man, Celsius. Celsius is really just, wow. Celsius. Okay, let's go over elation and capitulation. So, elation is Unity software respecting the 200-day moving average. This is also good for Roblox. Okay, there's that. Capitulation. Fubo. Wow. But not capitulation if you somehow we're buying down here. All right, you guys, that's it. This one definitely went longer than I was expecting because I'm really not even in anything, and those two positions I'm in is like zero size. So, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. This week is going to be a crucial week, and just stay optimistic, and patient, and wait for obvious spaces and preserve that mental capital. All right.